Welcome to Blood Island.
Hello, and welcome to That's Cool, That's Trash, the podcast where we watch a psychotronic movie online, then get together on Skype to break down the crazy. I'm Matt Howell, and I'm flying solo today, or rather, sailing solo. We're going to be visiting the Blood Island movies from the late 60s and early 70s. These exploitation horror movies were made in the Philippines by producer Eddie Romero, no relation to George, and Gerardo de Leon, or Jerry de Leon. In the last episode, I covered their earlier careers and two films that led up to Blood Island. This episode will cover the series itself. Chapter 1. Enter John Ashley. If you don't know him, John Ashley was a young heartthrob under contract with AIP Pictures. In the late 50s, he appeared in some movies and TV shows, made some records. He's kind of a teen idol guy. While he was in college, he visited a friend in LA. They visited the set of The Conqueror. That's the movie that was a massive critical flop that had John Wayne playing Genghis Khan. Just going to let that sink into your imagination there for a second. Anyway, John Wayne noticed Ashley's good looks, and so he helped him get a role in a TV show. That kicked off his career. He appeared in some juvenile delinquent movies and some horror films, all kind of B-movie fare, like Frankenstein's Daughter, How to Make a Monster, and the infamous Eye Creatures, as well as higher-profile movies like HUD with Paul Newman. He's probably most well-known for his role as Frankie Avalon's BFF in AIP's Beach Party movies. In the late 1960s, Ashley's marriage ended, and he took a role in Brides of Blood as an opportunity to get out of the country and away from his fresh divorce. Thanks to some clever gimmicks and advertising, Brides of Blood did well in the States, and Ashley agreed to come back for the second film, Mad Doctor of Blood Island. He joined Romero behind the camera as a producer later on, and enjoyed a successful career producing and starring in Filipino exploitation movies. Around 1980, he returned to the U.S., and he produced projects here. His most successful American production would be a little show called The A-Team. You can hear his narration on the title sequence for the first 4 seasons.
10 years ago, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
Sadly, he died of a heart attack in 1997. But enough of my yapping. We set the stage for this in the last episode, the Blood Island Prelude. So you know about Eddie Romero, Gerardo de Leon, and now you know John Ashley. All the pieces are on the board. Let's start the game. Chapter 2. Brides of Blood. This film is a delightful tale of Jim Farrell, played by John Ashley, a member of the Peace Corps who has arrived on Blood Island to do some work with the locals to help with irrigation and farming. He arrives via a boat, along with other passengers, Dr. Paul Henderson and his wife Carla. Carla is played by Beverly Powers, who is still using her stripper/stage name Beverly Hills at this point. I believe that she got her break in the movies playing a stripper in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Here, she plays a nymphomaniac, and her scientist husband appears to be impotent, or maybe he's just disgusted with how loose she is. It's never quite clear or explicit. Ironically, she plays a frigid wife in Invasion of the Bee-Girls a few years later. That's a movie that we riffed here, That's Cool, That's Trash, and had a great time with. It's worth checking out. So Carla sleeps with a deckhand before they even get to the island. Also, the screenwriters decided to give her the most arch, catty lines of dialogue I've ever heard outside of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Why, that's a very good question, Captain. I suspect my husband thinks of it as an act of atonement. Mostly for me. Gallantry from the Peace Corps? Why, I'm overwhelmed. Maybe I could help the captain keep the crew happy.
I better see to my gear.
Me too.
Would you like me to help?
If you like.
Isn't that what a good wife is for? Aren't you growing up a little fast, little boy?
Dr. Henderson is coming to the island for research purposes. Within minutes of arrival, the group encountered a procession of natives doing a burial at sea, which they discover to be a bunch of severed limbs.
Here comes the local Rotary Club.
Let's go meet them.
This music is used a lot in this movie, and it was my least favorite part. This very white-sounding chanting kept reminding me of that Seinfeld episode when Jerry kept doing impressions of his girlfriend's stomach's voice. You remember that? So Jim Farrell meets Arcadio, who's kind of like the village elder, and he meets also Arcadio's granddaughter, Alam.
We know that you have come to do us good. We are your servants.
Well, I'm supposed to say at this point that we're here to serve, not to be served. I only hope it works out that way.
I too.
I'm Jim Farrell. This is the scientist, Dr. Henderson, his wife.
You are most welcome.
So they soon learn that there's a wealthy man living in a mansion in the middle of the jungle named Esteban Powers.
Alam has studied in the mainland. She will be your interpreter. Besides myself, she's the only one that speaks English in this island.
Not the only one, Lolo. You're forgetting Mr. Powers and Goro.
He lives alone. Well, with his manservant Goro. And a bunch of little people, servants. So Jim, the doctor, and Carla see the native girls drawing lots in a ceremony, not realizing they're determining who is going to be a sacrifice. Dr. Henderson finds a giant mutated land crab on the way to Esteban's, or as they say, Steban's house. They encounter a tree with writhing tentacles. It looks like some kind of Lovecraftian eldritch monster. Oddly enough, they don't seem that impressed.
Isn't that some kind of a banana tree?
The bark is definitely Muso sapien. But that growth there, I've never seen anything like that before.
Paul, it's moving.
Yes.
Please, hurry.
Come on, we'll have time for a closer look in the morning.
They arrive at the mansion and meet Esteban.
I'm Esteban Powers. Esteban,
Jim Farrell.
the Peace Corpsman.
Right.
And Dr. Henderson,
How do you do?
Mrs. Henderson.
Carla, to my friends and enemies.
I hope never to belong to the second category.
I don't think you'll ever have to worry about that.
I must apologize for not having been able to meet you. I would have wanted to bring all of you here directly, but if it's not too late, I'd like to invite all of you to stay here for the duration of your visit.
Over dinner, the doctor explains what he's looking for.
Just what do you expect to find here, Doctor?
This island was on the fringe of the atomic radiation area during the bomb tests in the late 40s.
Declared safe. Then, as now.
That's why I didn't expect to find any effect of the bomb tests on the flora and fauna of the island.
Didn't expect?
I found a crab, an ordinary land crab that had undergone some kind of mutation and also manifested a very high degree of radioactivity.
Well, couldn't it have migrated from Bikini or one of the other islands to the test area?
Well, assuming that it survived the bomb blast, that would seem like the logical explanation.
Later that night, they hear the erotic grunting of the beast, but they aren't quite sure what it is.
Earthquake?
No.
So they hear the sacrifices being taken by the evil one. The evil one is interesting. He likes his girls served naked and tied up. And they don't explicitly say it, but it seems to be implied that he rapes the girls and then tears them to pieces.
The men will survive this because it needs only women.
What do you mean? What the devil do you mean?
He does not devour his victims. He merely satisfies himself on them.
But they get torn to pieces.
It is his way of satisfying himself.
Now, I don't want to spoil too much, so I'm going to leave the rest for you to discover on your own. It's on YouTube in its entirety. I really dug this, and I recommend you watch it. If nothing else, you've got to see it for the infamous monster. I had to show my wife and daughter this to get their impressions. Here's what they thought.
How would you describe this monster?
So I think he looks like a bowel movement from someone with liver disease, both in kind of the soft texture and the color.
I think it looks like if you were to take an 1,000-year-old man, make him poop, tear off his face, put it on the poop, put a motor inside of it, and then put shark teeth on it and just wind it up and let it go.
Now, if I had to describe it, I would say that he looks like Ronald McDonald's friend Grimace, but covered in turds. Or maybe he looks like he's wearing a suit made out of Swamp Thing and Man Thing scrotums, all sewn together. Overall, I had a blast with this movie. There were some great touches of sleaze here and there, the implied monster rape, the dismemberment, the nudity. That really made this fun to watch. So Al Adamson's Independent International Pictures distributed the film in the U.S. Brides was a hit here. Theaters gave out engagement and wedding rings to all the single ladies that came to showings of this. Also, a little fun note. I've read that the whole Blood Island series was sold to local TV stations as a package, like when they just wanted to buy cheap movies to put on when the baseball game got rained out or just to fill dead air in the middle of the night. Apparently, it was assumed, based on other similar packages that stations had bought before for cheap movie programming, stuff like Roger Corman's Edgar Allan Poe cycle and other B-movie fare like that, they assumed this would be tame stuff that could be thrown on at any time. So the films were not previewed first. And I'm sure that delighted many a young man who got to watch an eyeful of this stuff on The Late Show. So I really dug this, and I think you will too. Check it out on YouTube. All right, so let's move on to the next installment, Mad Doctor of Blood Island. I'll see you after.
Is that it? Yeah, your old hometown, Blood Island.
Okay, we're back on Blood Island. So it seems like the success of Brides of Blood, due to its marketing and the ring gimmick, convinced the filmmakers to build that fun into the movie itself. So audience members were given little packets of green-colored water, and they had to take an oath before the movie started. I love this stuff.
The green blood potion has been known to passionately affect some people after drinking it. Others experience a feeling of the supernatural conscience entering their beings. Get your samples of the green blood potion ready and recite the oath of Dr. Lorca aloud with me before drinking of the green blood. I, a living, breathing creature of the cosmic entity, am now ready to enter the realm of those chosen to be allowed to drink of the mystic emerald fluids herein offered. I join the order of green blood with an open mind, and through this liquid's powers am now prepared to safely view the unnatural green-blooded ones without fear of contamination. Now, drink your sample of green blood, and it is guaranteed that you can never turn into a green-blooded monster.
So just like in Brides, we start off with a ship delivering people to Blood Island. One of those people is Carlos, who's returning to his home after being away for some time to try to persuade his mother to leave. So the captain of the ship warns him about Blood Island, like all good captains do when they're taking people to cursed places.
Surely you've seen my mother during one of your trips out here. No. I haven't been on this route very long. I don't think that I've set foot on that village more than a couple times. You've come here to get her off the island, huh? Well, if I can persuade her, yeah. Well, if I were you, I'd do it. If necessary, I'd drag her aboard. Why? Because the island's a pest hole, a jinx. People from the other islands say there's a curse on it.
Surely that's nonsense.
Is it?
Another passenger is Sheila Willard. She's played by Angelique Pettyjohn, who seems to have played an alien lots of people have molested themselves over on Star Trek. I don't know. I'm not a Star Trek fan, so I couldn't tell you about that. Anyway, Sheila is coming to find her father, who left when she was 10. The third passenger on the ship is her old buddy, John Ashley. It looks like old Jim Farrell came back to Blood Island, maybe for Alum? So upon landing, we meet Sheila's dad, who falls down drunk. Apparently he's been living in a whiskey bottle since he saw her last when she was 10.
You're Sheila, huh? Oh, great.
I wrote to you several times, but when I didn't hear from you, I got in touch with the American consul on the mainland, and he said
I got
that...
your letters. I guess you know why I didn't answer.
And her father's introduced to John Ashley's character, who's not who he was last time.
Who are you?
My name's Foster, Bill Foster.
He came over with me on the boat.
What brings you here, Bill? You're not some kind of salesman, are you?
No, I'm a doctor, sort of.
You work for that public health department on the mainland?
No, it's another government office. You probably haven't heard of it.
You staying for long?
I really don't know, Mr. Willard. It depends on a lot of things. You might be able to help me if you want to.
Yeah, it's a great thought.
Bill, do you have a brother named Jim? So Dr. Foster has come to investigate some weird goings-on Blood Island, involving some green blood and insane villagers and murders, which is kind of par for the course when you name your island Blood Island. So Carlos returns to his home, which is the same mansion that Esteban had in the last movie, but that's not supposed to be noticed. Anyway, he returns to his home and his mother and her lover, I guess, Dr. Lorca. And those of you who are playing along at home might have recognized him as Ronald Remy from The Blood Drinkers. He was the bald vampire Dr. Marco. Well, here, he has a full head of hair and quite a look going on. He's got Dr. Strangelove glasses, a severe limp that requires a walking stick, and one glove. He's very stylish and eccentric. So I was kind of fascinated with this character of Carlos. He has kind of a weird way of talking. It seemed like he, or maybe his voice actor, if this was dubbed, I think some of the stuff's dubbed, was going for like a young Marlon Brando / James Dean Sal Mineo kind of thing.
Carlos.
I wasn't sure you'd be pleased to see me. I mean, your letters. You seemed so disturbed to learn that I was coming.
Well, I am pleased to see you. You've become a man, my son.
A man determined to take you away from this wretched island for good. The handsome prince, come to free the captive princess.
So it seems like there's another creature stalking prey on this tiny island and tearing people to shreds. The filmmakers tried a camera technique out that is interesting. You know those crash zooms you see in old Shaw Brothers kung fu movies, where the camera just whips in real close and creates this kind of sense of movement? They tried something like that here, but they crash zoomed in and out the entire time the monster was in a scene. So it does create this kind of effective, pulsing, disorienting sensation, but it seems like it's almost universally hated by people who watch the movie, and it's a little obnoxious. Bill and his new pal Sheila and her father join Carlos for dinner at his house. Will they discuss the beast?
From your description of the creature who chased you through the woods and killed that poor hunter, it could very well have been a man, but a very rare kind of man, if I may say so.
What's your own impression, Doctor?
Me? I wasn't there. Speculating on matters of this kind is really quite fruitless.
Not even over something so deadly, so close to home?
And native drums are heard from the mansion towards the end of the dinner party, so we learn that they are performing a ritual to ward off evil spirits. And the visitors observe and are treated to some couples dancing, which is basically just dry humping and grinding on each other in the dirt. If you're concerned that the music wasn't going to be white-sounding enough, like in the last movie, you can rest easy. word of warning here, honestly, seriously. If you don't like seeing animals killed on screen, you might want to skip this part because the ritual ends with slaughter, sacrifice of some animals, and it's a little disturbing. A pair of young lovers are killed by the beast, and Dr. Foster takes a sample of the green blood that was found at the scene, which wasn't from either one of the victims.
What would you say this substance was, Doctor? Blood, possibly?
Green blood, Doctor?
There's no question about it. It's blood, all right.
Curse. They offended the evil one.
Oh, come on, Chief. You don't believe that crap yourself.
I believe as my father did, and his father.
Well, this didn't come from the girl that was killed, or the guy that was with her, either.
Then, it's the blood of the evil one. It has come back, as we all feared he would. Gamo has become a servant of the evil one. The blood of the evil one runs through his body. What? It is plain to see. That is why Dr. Lorca cannot awaken him from the spell. Only the evil one.
Evil one? Is this a callback to the last movie? I think they're acknowledging the monster from the first movie, guys. That is cool. It's kind of like, it's not the Marvel universe, but it's something they're building a thing. I like that. A green-skinned and green-blooded man is found outside of Sheila's place, collapsed, and Dr. Lorca is sent for to treat him.
You have no objection if I gave him a sedative?
Right now? Aren't you going to examine him first?
Oh, I know what ails him. The symptoms are rather apparent. Chlorophyll poisoning.
Chlorophyll?
The sedative acts very fast.
You think chlorophyll accounts for the pigmentation? That's a little unusual, isn't it?
Yes, Doctor. My paper mentions several instances of this kind.
So who is the beast? Why is it killing? You'll have to watch for the answer to those mysteries, because I'm not going to be spoiling any twists or surprises for you folks who might want to watch it after you hear this. I like this one. It's not nearly as polished looking as a previous film. In fact, it's kind of scuzzy in a few places. Also, the late 60s are clearly starting to take their toll on fashion. John Ashley has some wicked sideburns, and he's rocking some wide-collared polyester shirts and stuff that are very groovy. So it just looks kind of skanky. Also, this movie doubled down on the shock value and sleaze of the first one. So they figured people like that, let's amp it up 100%. So there's gratuitous skinny dipping. There's a sex scene that Angelique Pettyjohn says was not simulated. Apparently there's cut footage from that was deleted out there in somebody's closet somewhere. And the gore is definitely ramped up. This kind of goes into the Herschel Gordon Lewis territory with the victims being disemboweled, and we see what I'm guessing are animal entrails just all over the place. So it's a little messy. It's just sleazier all around. And then there's the monster. I don't even know if I have the words. It's a green mess of monster masks, latex, tempera paint, and paper mache that has to be seen to be believed. It's utterly absurd. I'm still happy with the series, and I've read that a lot of people think this is the best one as far as like sleaziness. So we'll see. I'm curious about that. I'm also wondering if John Ashley is going to be a new character in the next film, or if he's going to be one of his previous characters that he's played, because it'd be kind of weird if he's different every single time. But anyway, on to the next one, Beast of Blood. All right, we are back with Beast of Blood, the third film proper in the series. And Eddie Romero, he broke my heart. This was gutting, just gutting. Beast of Blood could have been one of the greatest cult movies ever, and Romero dropped the ball. He didn't even drop the ball. He took the snap and shoved the ball up his ass and then ran into the other team's end zone. I can't blame him entirely. Beverly Miller, the guy who plays the ship captain in this movie, he wrote the story, but Romero wrote the screenplay based on it, so he's kind of equally at fault, right? This could have been the perfect sleazy missing link between The Brain That Wouldn't Die and Reanimator. But instead we get 15 minutes of awesome with 75 minutes of celluloid Ambien in the middle. You know how movies always end with the wishy-washy open ending, the question mark, the end, that is almost never followed by a sequel? Mad Doctor wrote that check, and folks, that check did not bounce. This movie starts mere hours after Mad Doctor ends. Dr. Foster, yep, he's back, he's Dr. Foster again, is on the boat headed back to the mainland, with Sheila and her dad, Mr. Willard, off screen, conveniently. So the monster was stowed away in the lifeboat at the end of the last movie, and here he goes on a rampage, killing the crew, blowing up the boat, and leaving Dr. Foster as the lone survivor. The beast washes ashore on the beaches of Blood Island and trudges inland. Then the credits start. I'm in love. After a lengthy recovery, Foster returns to Blood Island along with reporter Myra Russell, who's looking for a story about Dr. Foster.
I'm Myra Russell of the Honolulu Clarion.
M.J. Russell.
Right.
What are you doing here?
Running down a story. You.
If you're serious, Miss Russell, I'm afraid you've taken a long trip for nothing.
You just proved I didn't.
What do you mean?
Well, a man with nothing to hide wouldn't have to be so evasive, and he might even wonder why I traveled 2,000 miles just to meet him.
I guess you're going to find a story, whether there is one or not.
Come on, Doctor, give me a little credit. I don't rate a syndicated byline for nothing. I wrote you a couple of times, 6 months ago.
I remember.
For some production reason, they couldn't shoot the village in the exact same location, and they must have thought the audience would notice, so they chose to call it out in the script for no real reason.
That isn't the same village.
No, the tribe moved to this place several months ago.
Why?
Better fishing, maybe.
The locals don't seem too thrilled to see the good doctor back. They keep their distance. Lyda, the woman who saved Bill from drowning, explains why.
They seemed a bit more friendly the last few times.
Maybe they remember the doctor.
Durangi, isn't it?
He is afraid of you.
Why?
The evil one touched you. The boat on which you sailed away from here sank. All drowned, except you.
Who told them that?
My father and I. We found you there in the sea. We brought you back to the old village. You were nearly dead.
It was you?
My father and I. Now he is gone. The evil one took him.
We have another returning character, Ramu, the headman of the natives, and he's still in charge, same actor and everything.
I was kind of hoping you'd be glad to see me, old friend.
I have not been glad about anything for a long time. You accomplished nothing by defying the evil one.
If the beast is still alive, I'll find him. Now, I can use your help if you want to give it, but you won't stop me.
The green men have returned.
The green men have returned, and they're stalking the visitors. So they visit Lopez Mansion, the mansion from the last movie, and find that, despite the explosion and the fire at the end of the last one, the lab is more or less intact, and the grounds have been booby-trapped to scare the locals. You know what I forgot to mention so far? Bruno Punzalan is making his third appearance in the Blood Island movies. So in Brides, he played Goro, henchman to Esteban, and in the last two pictures, he's played Razak, a mute henchman to Dr. Lorca. This guy worked a lot in the Philippines. Anyway, just thought I should mention that. So at this point, this is where the movie really shits the bed. It turns into a damned jungle adventure with people walking interminably through the jungle. The Green Men have stolen Myra, and Dr. Foster has a hunch that Dr. Lorca is alive and well, so he goes in pursuit. I'll cut to the damn chase, just like Bill does when he finally meets Dr. Lorca in his guerrilla encampment.
What brings you to Blood Island this time, Doctor?
Well, basically, I came here to gather some more information about your experiments. Your old experiments, that is.
That is, before you began to suspect that I was still alive. After that, you came into the jungle to hunt me down. And kill me?
Hardly that. It never occurred to me to even come this far until you had Miss Russell kidnapped. That's not too strong a word, is it?
It covers the situation.
May I ask why you did that?
It was rather a spur-of-the-moment decision. It seemed a little easier to arrange than kidnapping you.
It might have been easier all around to just invite me here.
Ah, now.
So Dr. Lorca has been doing his mad scientist stuff, giving mad scientist speeches about attaching natives' heads to the beast's body, blah, blah, blah. The beast is sitting in a giant dish with some fluid in it, which I think inspired a reanimator. He refuses to speak, even though the doctor says he can. He looks a lot like the monster from the last movie, but he's definitely different. It looks like he looks like a howler monkey skull. with scabs all over it. He kind of looks like the same monster, but different. We see some footage of an attempted head transplant that's most likely a pig's throat being cut open by a scalpel. Blah, blah, blah. Speaking of pork, Dr. Foster and Myra get it on while they're imprisoned in Lorca's camp in the last, act of this movie. So in the final act, Ramu and the rest of the villagers rush into the rescue with the guns and grenades. Everything's blowing up, and it turns into a damned war movie. Finally, Don Ramon's head decides to talk.
What did you think of that, Don Ramon? Our Dr. Foster seems to have grown a little more complicated, hasn't he? Be as stubborn as you like, old friend. The day may come when I no longer have need of you.
The day may come soon, Lorca.
And he telepathically commands his body to break free of the restraints and kill Dr. Lorca, and destroys the lab, and the villagers burn down the rest of the camp as Bill Foster collects Dr. Lorca's papers. When he's asked why he needs them, he cryptically says he's sure he won't or something. Damn you, Eddie Romero. How could you end the Blood Island films with this? This movie had so much promise. All we needed was a creature walking around holding its head, killing people. That's all we needed. We didn't get it. And you've made me very uncomfortable. Or, wait, am I saying that right?
Better go away now. You are making me uncomfortable again.
I'm depressed.
All right, gentlemen. May I have your attention? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ben.
And Owen.
And we're from the Wax On, Wax Lyrical podcast.
From down under.
Live
from down under.
From the land down under.
Get your hair, kid. we won't go any further than that.
It's true, and Owen glows and I chunder. So this is the Wax On Wax Lyrical podcast. Every week we just muck around a bit. We have a movie pop quiz every week, the Hard 10. What else we got, man?
Talk about bad movies from Bad Movie Sunday.
Yeah, weird news from around the world, strange people, cults. We have special guests.
Ads the Sports Guy.
Yeah.
Shit my wife makes me watch with Bez.
Wise Paul with metaphorical questions from New Zealand. Plus we have a plethora of sound effects. Anything from bong to pew pew. So come and join us live from Down Under, Wax On Wax Lyrical, part of
the Quadratic Equation
network every week.
No, almost, hopefully every week.
Yeah, I mean every 8.5 days.
Something like that.
Woo!
So find us at Wax On Lyrical on Twitter, at Bad Movie Sunday 1 on Twitter. Find us on Facebook with
Wax On Lyrical.
That's it. I'm really bad at this.
Come on down and have a listen to us. Join us.
Send us your dick pics to waxonlyrical@gmail.com.
Dick Van Dyke, Dick Tracy, anything you got.
Thank you.
Bye.
Wax On Wax Lyrical is a member of the Quadratic Equation Podcast Network, along with other great shows like The Rogue Riffers, The Dad Bodcast, and Paths of Glory. In addition to us, That's Cool, That's Trash, obviously. So you should do yourself a favor and check out some of these great shows. You can find the Quadratic Equation Network on Facebook at thequadraticequation.wordpress.com and on Twitter at thepodeq. Well, this wrapped the Blood Island series. I'll be reviewing the last two associated movies, The Beast of the Yellow Night and Twilight People, and giving my final thoughts on the whole shebang in the next mini-episode, which we'll call the Blood Island Epilogue, Aftermath, something. Then, after that, we'll be back with single movie episodes and guests. Speaking of that, you folks might have noticed that the show hasn't been very regular in production of episodes, and we're going to fix that and try to get it to 2 episodes a month, like it was in the old days. And we're going to get some goddamn guests back in the mix. These solo series episodes kill me. But I hope it was fun for you to listen to. And thank you for listening. And just a reminder, we recently switched to Libsyn because we were using Dropbox and the public folders on there, and the whole system was kind of janky and held together with tape and string. So I moved us to a proper host, and unfortunately we also lost all of our iTunes subscribers when that happened. So if you found this episode somewhere else or some other way, please subscribe or resubscribe on iTunes and leave us a review. I think we lost all our reviews too. So if you're so inclined, we'd appreciate that. As always, you can find us at that'scool-trash.com and on Twitter at @that's_trash. Let us know what you thought of the episode or the Blood Island movies or both. We'd love to hear what you think. For That's Cool, That's Trash, I'm Matt Howell. You folks out there, stay trashy.
That's trash.
It's garbage, folks.
Better go away now. You are making me uncomfortable again.